Vegas Nation Gameday Live, sponsored by South Point Sportsbook. Download the app at southpointsports.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into Vegas Nation Gameday Live. Cassie Soto here with you as we get ready to see the Raiders take on the Rams inside SoFi Stadium for preseason week 2. If you haven't been keeping up with the Raiders and Rams joint practices, we are here to fill you in on all the drama that unfolded over the last few days. Let's go ahead and look at this now. Some fights happened on the field because the teams were facing actual opponents and not their own guys like they have been for most of training camp. Things got a little bit chippy this past week. In fact, Thursday's practice was called to a stop after a brawl broke out during a special teams period. Head coach John Gruden was so upset with the extracurriculars, he ordered the horn to be blown and called it a day 45 minutes sooner than expected.
I thought we had a great work today until the special teams, right at the end of the special teams period. I have no idea what that was, but that's enough of that crap. You know, it's not good for football. It's not good for anything. So that's the end of that. That's the end of that practice session. You know, they know better. Everybody knows better. And again, it wasn't everybody fighting. It'll be on TV. You'll see a bunch of guys screaming and yelling, but it was 2 guys in a special teams period, and then it was a lot of trash talking that escalated. It's just sickening, really. It's just stupidity, but I'm done with that. It's just child's play to me.
Well, John Gruden clearly not happy with how things ended on Thursday, and our own Raiders beat writer Vinny Bonsignore had a front row seat to all the action. Vinny, knowing that things got heated during practice, how do you think things will go during this preseason game today?
You know, I wouldn't, the fights to me were, fairly insignificant, but I think a couple of things. Number one, the work that the Raiders were able to get out of their starters against the Rams starters could mean that you're probably not going to see a whole bunch of starters. Secondly, and to kind of ducktail on that, the injuries to Nicholas Morrow and Richie Incognito, I'm hearing that Nicholas could be a few weeks type of a situation, whereas Richie Incognito not as significant, so it looks like he might be back much sooner than that. But those 2 injuries, you hate to see that from a coaching perspective. You don't want your starting guys to go down. So between the work that the Raiders got against the Rams, their starters, and those 2 injuries kind of raising a couple of red flags, I think you'll probably see a lot of the starters in bubble wrap on the sideline.
On that note, and we mentioned it, Vinny, that things were cut short on Thursday. John Gruden said that he felt that they did good. They had good practices up until that point. Do you feel like the Raiders got the most out of these joint practices?
Yeah, no doubt. Anytime you're going against a different jersey, it's going to elevate the intensity. You like to see that, and there was certainly a lot of intensity from the coaches to the players to everybody else. So that got jacked up. I thought that there was a lot of work that was done against a defensive system that they haven't seen in practice, that they might see down the road. So making the adjustments on the fly from Derek Carr to Andre James making the line calls, his offensive linemen having to be in tune with them, and especially without they didn't watch any film of the Rams, they didn't game plan for the Rams. So everything that they did, both offensively and defensively, was kind of adjusting on the side. And that's a pretty good exercise as well, because it's not every game where what you see on the field is exactly what you saw on film during the week of preparation. Sometimes you get a curveball thrown at you. Sometimes you get ambushed with something completely different. So the ability to be able to adjust, react, kind of settle down and get it figured out on the fly, whether it's on the sidelines, trying to figure out what the other team is doing and then conferring with the players, or sometimes just those leaders on whether it's offensive or offensively or defensively, trying to figure it out in real time. That really does happen. So it was a good exercise for the Raiders to kind of get that experience in a much less pressurized situation than an actual game, but it could serve them well down the road.
Thank you so much, Vinny. Well, the drama didn't end on the field. Some players did take to social media to air it all out. Leandre Fox is here to tell us more.
Yeah, Cassie, the Twitter fingers started flying as soon as people saw the names Hunter Renfrow and Jalen Ramsey. The talk of Renfrow beating Ramsey in practice didn't sit too well with the All-Pro corner. Ramsey saying on Twitter that he can't believe what people choose to believe, and he is the chosen one before wishing his haters a good day. Now, we didn't see a video of the completion to Renfrow because it was not during a filming period, but there is a video of an incompletion where he got by Ramsey, and DC just missed him deep. And from fights on social media and fights on the field to fights in the ring, we have WWE SummerSlam taking place at Allegiant Stadium today, and the King of Kings, Triple H, took a visit to Raiders headquarters, leaving this message for Raider Nation.
Hey Raiders Nation, this is the Game Triple H. Just got the tour of the amazing new training facility here. I know none of you have been able to really see it yet, but I highly recommend it. If you're gonna come see the Raiders, if you're gonna be in Vegas for anything, come to the stadium, come here, see this training facility. You won't regret it. It's something special.
The WWE sends out custom title belts to the champions of each sports league, and Triple H is known to tweet out the belt in celebration. So if the Raiders win the Super Bowl this year, look out for Derek Carr to be rocking the big gold. Cassie, back to you.
Thanks so much, Dre. Let's go ahead and get some fast takes from sports columnist Ed Graney. He tells us the 3 things he'll be looking for today.
Yeah, Cassie, the first thing I'm going to look for is if Marcus Mariota plays any quarterback today. Had the injury last week. Nate Peterman played the whole game. But I think a lot of people want to see if Coach Gruden will allow Marcus Mariota to play at least a few series to see what he looks like through the exhibition season. Number 2, the physicality of the game. We know all about the fights that happened this week at practice. Now we're game day on Saturday. I'm a little worried, though, if I see Mike Mayock out on the field playing linebacker, because we know he jumped into one of the fracases, the general manager. I think the kid's a little too old. But if he is doing that, my guess is he'll be wearing his Golden Knights hat other than the Raiders, because he always walks around in that. Number 3, progression or digression. This is what happens between the first and second exhibition game. Did you get better or did you get worse? Often you're going to get better because you're going to play a few more of the starters this week than played last week, so you'll have better players on the field. But take a look at that. How do the Raiders look coming off a 20-7 win against the Seahawks as they play the Rams tonight? Those are 3 things I'm going to be looking for when the game kicks off.
Thanks so much, Ed. As we get closer to kickoff, we'll fill you in one more time on the Raiders injury brief. As Vinny Bonsignore mentioned at the top of the show, right guard Richie Incognito went down with a leg injury on Thursday, though it is likely he will return soon. But it is linebacker Nicholas Morrow that fans should be concerned with. He also suffered a leg injury on Thursday, and a cart was brought out to assist him off the field, but he was able to limp off on his own. It was doubtful that he or Incognito were going to play today, but now their status is highly in doubt. As always, for the latest Raiders news, check out vegasnation.com or download the Vegas Nation app. Thank you so much for joining us here on Vegas Nation Game Day Live. Enjoy the game.
Vegas Nation Game Day Live, sponsored by South Point Sportsbook. Download the app at southpointsports.com.